I never had to instigate it. I responded to it. When you're living in violence and it becomes normal, as I testified to, you have to adapt.
Few stars in Hollywood have sparked as much anger and division as Amber Heard. Once seen as a rising actress, her scandals and courtroom battles left a trail of shattered reputations and broken relationships. Behind the red carpet smiles, a long list of celebrities have made it clear. They vehemently hate Amber Heard, and their reasons might shock you. Ireland Baldwin. When it came to the bitter legal showdown between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, few celebrity offspring were as blunt as Ireland Baldwin, the daughter of Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger. Known for her candid personality and unfiltered use of social media, Ireland didn't hesitate to wade into the controversy, making it clear where her loyalties lay. In April 2022, amid Depp's defamation trial against Heard, Ireland took to her Instagram stories to post an explosive statement via the Mirror. She reshared an audio clip that had surfaced online, appearing to show Heard admitting to striking Depp during their tumultuous marriage. Alongside the recording, Ireland delivered her own commentary, revealing that she felt she knew exactly the type of person Heard represented. She argued that the case wasn't simply about one man and one woman, but about how society views abuse allegations through a gendered lens. In her words, some manipulative women exploit their gender to craft false abuse claims, knowing that cultural narratives often encourage people to instinctively side with the woman. Ireland bluntly accused Heard of being one of those women. She wrote of the Justice League actress, "Men can experience abuse too, and this absolute disaster of a human being is a terrible person. I hope Johnny gets his reputation and his life back, and I hope he's in like 5 Pirates movies." Her comments directly referenced Depp's testimony that Heard's accusations had cost him his career. Once one of Hollywood's most bankable stars, Depp had been swiftly dropped from major projects. Most notably, Disney cut ties with him and the lucrative Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, where his portrayal of Captain Jack Sparrow had become iconic. According to Reuters, Depp claimed that Heard's allegations not only damaged his reputation, but also stripped him of the livelihood he had built over decades. Ireland's post struck a chord with many Depp supporters, who applauded her for saying out loud what they believed the evidence showed. At the same time, her words were controversial, as they fed into an already polarizing public debate surrounding the trial, Heard's credibility, and the broader issue of how society handles abuse claims when the alleged victim is male. By framing Heard as a disaster of a human being and openly wishing for Depp's Hollywood redemption, Ireland Baldwin positioned herself firmly in Depp's corner. Her remarks reflected a growing cultural shift, one where the conversation about domestic abuse was no longer seen as gender-exclusive, and where powerful women like Heard could be held accountable for alleged misconduct in the same way men had long been. Vanessa Paradis and Lily Rose Depp. When the allegations of abuse leveled against Johnny Depp by Amber Heard first came to light, many people in Hollywood chose to stay silent. But for Vanessa Paradis, Depp's former partner and the mother of his 2 children, silence was never an option. Paradis and Depp first crossed paths in Paris in 1998, and according to Daily Mail, it was love at first sight. Depp later recalled that the moment he laid eyes on the French actress and singer, he knew his bachelor life was over, confessing, "My life as a single man was done." The pair went on to share a 14-year relationship that was marked by both romance and family life. They welcomed 2 children together, Lily Rose Depp in 1999 and Jack Depp in 2002, and though they never married, they were often described as one of Hollywood's most solid couples until their split in 2012. That deep history made Paradis's defense of Depp in 2016 all the more powerful. When TMZ obtained a letter she had written in the wake of Heard's accusations, her words carried the weight of someone who had known Depp at his most intimate. "I believe with all my heart that these recent allegations being made are outrageous," she wrote. In all the years I have known Johnny, he has never been physically abusive with me, and this looks nothing like the man I lived with for 14 wonderful years. Paradis wasn't the only family member to step forward. During Depp's testimony in 2022, he revealed that his daughter Lily Rose never warmed to Heard, admitting to the court that she didn't attend his 2015 wedding. She and Miss Heard were not on particularly great terms for several reasons, he explained. That strained relationship spoke volumes, suggesting that the tension between Heard and Depp's closest loved ones had been palpable from the beginning. Lily Rose herself had also once taken to Instagram to publicly support her father when the accusations first emerged. In a heartfelt, now deleted post, she described Depp as a loving, gentle man and insisted that his good character was recognized by everyone fortunate enough to know him. Coming from a daughter who had grown up under the protective shadow of one of Hollywood's biggest stars, the message resonated strongly with Depp's supporters. Paul Bettany. The friendship between Johnny Depp and Paul Bettany began in 2010, when the two actors worked together on the romantic thriller The Tourist. What started as a professional collaboration soon blossomed into a close bond, one that would endure for years, even as both men navigated personal and professional upheavals. Bettany, a British actor widely respected for his thoughtful demeanor and later his role as Vision in WandaVision, became one of Depp's most steadfast supporters during some of the darkest moments of his career. When Amber Heard first leveled allegations of abuse against Depp in 2016, Bettany didn't hesitate to come to his friend's defense. Taking to Twitter, he described Depp as the sweetest, kindest, gentlest man that I've ever known, insisting that the accusations did not align with the man he had come to know so well. His words reflected not only loyalty, but also a deep conviction that Depp's character was being misrepresented in the court of public opinion. However, their friendship took on unexpected significance years later when it was dissected during the highly publicized Depp-Heard defamation trial. Prosecutors presented a series of darkly joking text exchanges between the two men, in which Depp quipped about violent fantasies concerning Heard. In one particularly notorious exchange, Depp wrote about setting her on fire, prompting Bettany to reply with a chilling wisecrack about drowning her first to see if she was a witch. Depp responded with a message that was even more disturbing, referencing burning and desecrating her corpse. Though clearly intended as hyperbolic and macabre banter, the texts painted a damaging portrait when read in a courtroom setting. Depp, however, insisted the messages were taken out of context, arguing that they were simply exaggerated dark humor shared privately between close friends. He also testified that Heard deeply resented his friendship with Bettany. According to Depp, Heard saw Bettany as a rival for his attention and frequently clashed with him. For her, he was a threat and would take me away from her, Depp explained in court. With regard to if Paul Bettany were getting the attention from me, that was a showstopper. The tension allegedly escalated to an alarming degree. Depp claimed that during one particularly heated argument involving Bettany, Heard's hostility became so overwhelming that even Bettany's 18-year-old son ended up in tears. For Depp, this was emblematic of the toxic dynamic that defined his marriage, where even long-standing friendships became battlegrounds. Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem. Few Hollywood stars have worked as closely with Johnny Depp as Penelope Cruz, and when the actor faced a storm of abuse allegations from Amber Heard, Cruz didn't hesitate to lend her voice in his defense. Having appeared alongside Depp in films like Blow, 2001, Pirates of the Caribbean, On Stranger Tides, 2011, and Murder on the Orient Express, 2017, Cruz had spent decades not only collaborating with him on screen, but also building a personal friendship. In 2020, as Depp's legal battles with Heard intensified, Cruz penned a powerful statement that was later published by The Blast. She revealed that her connection to Depp went back to her teenage years, when she was first introduced to him by legendary Spanish director Pedro Almodóvar. I was 19 years old, and the only sentences I knew how to say in English at that time were, "How are you?" and "I want to work with Johnny Depp," she recalled. That early admiration eventually blossomed into a friendship, and she went on to describe Depp as one of the kindest people she had ever encountered in Hollywood. Cruz made it clear that the allegations of violence leveled against Depp were, in her words, utterly alien to the man she knew. "The idea that he is an incredibly violent person is the farthest thing from the Johnny I knew and loved," she wrote, emphasizing her bafflement at seeing his reputation torn apart in the media. Having witnessed his generosity and warmth firsthand, Cruz wanted the court of public opinion to hear from those who knew Depp intimately, not just through headlines. Her husband, fellow Oscar winner Javier Bardem, also stepped forward to echo her sentiments. In his own letter of support, also shared by The Blast, Bardem praised Depp not only as a colleague, but as a friend who had been consistently benevolent and supportive toward him and his family. Bardem's words went even further, suggesting that he saw Depp not as an aggressor, but as someone caught in a web of manipulation. "I love Johnny because he is a good human being, trapped in the lies and manipulations of toxic beings, and yet smiling and loving us all in spite of it," Bardem wrote. Sia. By October 2020, the bitter legal and public feud between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard had already drawn opinions from across Hollywood, but few were as blunt or unexpected as Sia. The Australian singer, known for hits like Chandelier and Cheap Thrills, decided to wade directly into the controversy on Twitter, where she not only defended Depp, but also lobbed serious accusations at Heard. According to ET Canada, Sia first shared a YouTube link titled, "Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, the real abuser finally revealed." The video claimed to feature uncensored audio of a heated argument between the pair, in which Heard allegedly admitted to striking Depp. By amplifying the clip, Sia made it clear she believed Depp's narrative that he had been the victim of abuse in the relationship, not the aggressor. She followed that post with another tweet that left no doubt about her loyalties. Sia explicitly suggested that Depp was the true victim in the saga, while casting doubt on Heard's credibility. Her words placed her squarely on one side of one of Hollywood's most divisive scandals, a move that immediately set social media buzzing. But Sia wasn't finished. In a third and final tweet, she zeroed in on one of the most contentious issues in Depp and Heard's split: the $7 million divorce settlement that Heard had pledged to donate to charity. Depp's team had long argued that she hadn't fulfilled that promise, and Sia used the moment to raise her own pointed question. Turning her attention to Heard's ex-boyfriend, Elon Musk, she wrote, "Didn't you give her the $7 million she donated from her settlement? She still came out $7 million richer. Why are you protecting her? She will never get the help she needs if we all stay silent." The tweet added yet another layer of drama, as Musk's high-profile relationship with Heard had begun shortly after her split from Depp in 2016. Though the Tesla billionaire and Heard broke up after a year, his name was frequently dragged into the courtroom narrative. Sia's claim, that Musk might have secretly covered the charitable donation, was explosive, though no evidence has surfaced to suggest it was true. As of April 2022, there had been no indication that Musk had ever given such a sum on Heard's behalf. Still, Sia's intervention highlighted how the Depp-Heard saga had evolved far beyond a private legal battle. It had become a global spectacle, one in which celebrities, fans, and media outlets all chose sides. In siding so forcefully with Depp, and in directly calling out both Heard and Musk, Sia positioned herself as one of Depp's most outspoken allies, using her platform to both criticize Heard's actions and to question the silence of others. Laura Wasser. When it comes to high-profile Hollywood divorces, one name consistently surfaces: Laura Wasser. A powerhouse in the world of family law, the California-based attorney has built her reputation on navigating the messy, public, and emotionally charged splits of some of the world's most famous people. According to Vogue, Wasser has represented Brad Pitt during his highly publicized separation from Angelina Jolie, and she was reportedly retained by Kim Kardashian when her marriage to Kanye West unraveled. Known for her fierce advocacy and no-nonsense approach, Wasser has become the go-to lawyer for celebrities who want both discretion and firepower in equal measure. So, when Johnny Depp found himself embroiled in a bitter divorce from Amber Heard, it came as little surprise that he turned to Wasser to represent his interests. True to form, Wasser wasted no time going on the offensive, especially after Heard was granted a temporary restraining order against Depp in 2016. Heard's allegations of abuse had sent shockwaves through Hollywood, but Wasser countered with claims that the actress was motivated not by fear, but by finances. In legal documents obtained by CNN, Wasser wrote pointedly, "Amber is attempting to secure a premature financial resolution by alleging abuse." The phrasing was deliberate, framing Heard's claims as a strategic maneuver designed to pressure Depp into settling quickly and generously. Wasser further argued that Heard's actions coincided suspiciously with a wave of negative publicity that had begun surrounding her, suggesting that the restraining order and abuse allegations were part of a calculated response to salvage her image. Wasser also directly addressed Heard's financial demands. According to Radar, she dismissed the requests outright, emphasizing that Heard was not in dire need of Depp's support. Amber is a successful model and actress who earns her own income and is capable of supporting herself, the attorney stated in the filings. By highlighting Heard's independent earnings, Wasser aimed to undermine the narrative that Depp bore financial responsibility for his estranged wife. The filings painted a picture of a shrewd legal team determined to cast doubt on Heard's motives and to shield Depp from what they saw as an opportunistic play. For Wasser, it was classic strategy: dismantle the credibility of the opposing party while reinforcing the client's position as the aggrieved side. Though the divorce was finalized later that year with Heard receiving a $7 million settlement, which she claimed would be donated to charity, the legal battle did not end there. The seeds planted by Wasser's filings foreshadowed the years of litigation, accusations, and counter-accusations that would follow, culminating in one of the most closely watched celebrity trials of the decade: Doug Stanhope. In 2016, the often controversial American comedian Doug Stanhope found himself unexpectedly thrust into one of Hollywood's biggest scandals when he publicly defended his longtime friend, Johnny Depp. Known for his sharp tongue and brutally honest style, Stanhope wrote a now infamous essay for The Wrap, in which he accused Amber Heard of emotionally manipulating Depp during their marriage. Stanhope and his girlfriend had reportedly spent time with Depp in the days leading up to Heard's allegations of domestic abuse, and what they claimed to have witnessed disturbed them. "We have watched Amber Heard fuck with him at his weakest," Stanhope wrote in the piece, suggesting that Depp had confided in them about his growing fear of his wife. According to the comedian, Depp had been unable to sleep, plagued by anxiety that Heard was plotting against him. He still pronounced his love for Amber, Stanhope explained, but was presciently aware that she was going to pull off some kind of ruse to fuck him over. The explosive article sent shockwaves through the press, but not everyone was amused. Heard responded swiftly, filing a defamation lawsuit against Stanhope. For a brief time, it appeared the comedian would have to defend his words in court. However, only a few months later, the lawsuit was dropped. As E! News reported, Heard abandoned the case after reaching a divorce settlement with Depp. Notably, Heard's lawyer clarified at the time that her decision had nothing to do with any agreement or payout from Stanhope. Miss Heard and Mr. Stanhope did not reach any agreement to settle the case, the lawyer emphasized. There was no financial compensation of any kind. The lawsuit was dropped as part of divorce negotiations. For Stanhope, the dismissal was a relief, but he remained unapologetic. His loyalty to Depp was unwavering, and over the years he continued to voice his disdain for Heard. In 2020, when Daily Mail released audio recordings that appeared to capture Heard admitting to hitting Depp, Stanhope once again took to social media to make his position clear. His tweet was blunt and biting. "The calculating barnacle that is Amber Heard has just hung herself on just-released audio." Winona Ryder. When Johnny Depp and Winona Ryder first crossed paths in 1989, it sparked one of Hollywood's most iconic young romances. Their whirlwind connection quickly turned into a highly publicized relationship, complete with matching red carpet appearances and the famous Winona Forever tattoo that Depp inked on his arm. For 4 years, the couple's bond seemed unshakable, and by 1990 they were already engaged. Depp, then just 27, told People magazine with striking candor, "There's been nothing in my 27 years that's comparable to the feeling I have with Winona." For Ryder, who was still in her late teens when the relationship began, the love she shared with Depp was nothing short of transformative. Speaking years later to Cinema.com, she reflected on the depth of the experience. "I had my first real relationship with Johnny Depp, a fiercely deep love that I don't know that I'll ever... The first love is like that, isn't it?" Though she trailed off, her words carried the weight of someone who had been permanently marked by that chapter of her life. It was precisely because of that enduring bond that Ryder came to Depp's defense decades later when he found himself embroiled in a bitter legal battle with his ex-wife, Amber Heard. In 2020, the Heathers star provided a heartfelt statement to The Blast, addressing the disturbing allegations of domestic violence that Heard had made against Depp. Ryder was careful not to dismiss another woman's claims outright, but made it clear that, based on her own experiences, the accusations did not align with the man she once knew so intimately. "I do not want to call anyone a liar," Ryder wrote, "but from my experience of Johnny, it is impossible to believe that such horrific allegations are true." She explained that throughout their 4-year relationship, Depp had never been abusive or violent toward her, nor had she ever seen him display such behavior toward anyone else. On the contrary, she painted a picture of a man who was gentle, protective, and deeply devoted to those he cared about. "I only know him as a really good, loving, caring guy who is very, very protective of the people that he loves," she concluded. What do you think about these celebrities who can't stand Amber Heard? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.